Hey guys, welcome back. So the game has just gotten a lot more interesting for me because I found a character that I immediately liked off the bat. She's kind of a nutty rogue. She's a rogue priestess. That makes her even cooler. You know, I'm actually debating between keeping Morrigan or Alistair. I could go either way with the two of them. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Which one do you want? Alistair or Morrigan? I think they're both, well, I actually like Morrigan a little bit better. Her jokes, her writing seems a little bit less annoying. I actually also like how friggin' clinical she is and like laissez-faire she is with who dies. Or like, you know, she's not a little whiny bitch like Alistair is. I also think that Alistair seems to be loved so much and I seem to be not liking him so much that it's just gonna make people angry if I keep him in the party. I think all the votes seem to be going to Morrigan. Alright, this is what we're going with then. See, Alistair. Now I don't have to say your name anymore. Yes! Look at the bones in the middle of the tavern as everybody goes back to drinking ale. Good times! Well met! Take all lesser health points. Thank you. He's already rotted into bones. No corpse. Hey, Hank. See if you can suss out something. Find me some loots. A slightly damaged cake. Thank you. You just found this then? Excellent, good boy. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Is Leliana bisexual and or just lesbian, straight up? Yes! Perfect. Seems like this chin's gonna go towards a little bit more than ball depository for once. It's good for other things.
Please, we came here to get away from the fighting.
Yes?
Oh, I wanted the dog to talk to her. What do you know of this place?
Lothering? I think it started as a settlement by the river, and then grew when it became the place where two roads met. There are always people in Lothering, but many are just passing through. Yes?
What do you know, or I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise.
I think I could penetrate
I stood
that
in the
darkness.
peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
I think this is one big metaphor for you and I hitting the hay, eventually. So it's just a dream. Why say it's a vision? You dreamed of the Blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness,
So, do
there
you
is
think
hope and beauty. Have faith.
do you think the Maker is like a big golden dragon, maybe? That's my guess. Don't confirm or deny, that's my guess. That's wishful thinking. And this made you want to help me? Did you hear voices? And that made you want to help me? I'm gonna be
In
nice to
my
her.
dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything?
Love her accent. I think that they kind of tried to... I think Joan of Arc was a strong inspiration for this character, probably. The Blight is the Maker's punishment. Will you defy him? The Chantry says the Maker has left us. I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a Blight to stop. Yes?
I'd like to talk
Well,
more.
here I am.
What was life in the Chantry? What was life like in the Chantry cloister?
Quiet.
I mean,
It
coitus.
was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
How so?
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
What did you say to them? I prefer your ideas I prefer your ideas to the ideas of the Chantry.
Thank you. Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
Yes, CV Gun. This is post-cloister for her.
Yes? Well, here I am.
And the voice actress is also French, is apparently actually French. That's cool. So an actual genuine accent for once in this game. Because all the other ones have been getting a little bit tiresome. What would someone like you be doing in the Loatherings Chantry? Yeah, what are you doing?
What is meant by someone like me?
You know, a beautiful, charming woman. Sanctimonious, preachy, like all the Chantry zealots. They don't teach you to fight in the cloister, do they? This doesn't work, but BioWare logic, this kind of angle doesn't go well when you're trying to charm somebody. It's a little too obvious. But BioWare logic when it comes to wooing people seems to like go along the lines of put people on a shelf, put them on a pedestal. The more obvious, the better. Exactly. Yeah. Just trust your knowledge of BioWare. You don't want to play coy in BioWare games. You want to be as obvious as hell in stating your intentions.
And there were no beautiful, charming women in the cloisters, you think? You would be wrong. There were many lovely young initiates in the Lothering cloister, all of them chaste and virtuous. It added to their mystique. Because then, they were forbidden. And forbidden fruit is the sweeter, no?
She just coyly talked about how there were beautiful women in the church and that because you couldn't fuck them, it made them all the more desirable, basically. She's talking about how she basically lusted after the other women in the Chantry because she knew that they were a challenge. I really like this character. Becky would have loved her if she was here. What about your fruit? Is it forbidden? Yeah, let's just go down this road. Once again, BioWare cheesy dating sim logic.
My fruit? I can't believe I'm having this conversation. But no, I did not take vows. The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it.
Yeah, I'd
I
like
chose
to
to stay and become affirmed.
provide a little sucker for you if you... It's a sexual thing. What did you do before that? Affirmed. Why were you seeking safe harbor? So your skills are learned before your time at the Chantry? Affirmed.
We affirm our belief in the Maker, in Andraste and the chant, but other than that, there are no vows taken.
And so your skills were before then?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
I'm in love. She's so cool. She was a fucking entertainer, a singer, a traveling minstrel. She became a rogue. Then she joined the church for what? Fun? She disagreed. Mainly, it sounds she joined the church so that she could maybe finally fulfill her lifelong dream of fucking a nun. And then while there, she got these like romantic ideas and prophecies about the Maker. And now she's nuts. So she's got a little bit of crazy. She's got a little bit of, she's a capable fighter. She's got some artistic side to her. She's a well-rounded woman, and she's a well-rounded woman. I'd like to talk more.
Well, here I am.
So you were a traveling minstrel?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Alright, so, tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry law says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Okay. She's once again explaining how this all started and how the Darkspawn were created, but I didn't really understand. What was the motivation to invade the Maker's realm? Like, why did they wanted to put in, like, they basically wanted to make one of them into a god. They wanted to become gods. They were going to put in place a new ruler, a new Maker, replace the Maker. I guess they were kind of like, what makes this Maker so great? We're magicians, we're powerful, let's make one of us the new Maker. It'll be a democracy.
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
Go ahead.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Continue. Yeah.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the Grand Tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the Grand Tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
I like how I can jump in and keep on guessing what's gonna happen. Did she win the tourney?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Keleva in the Grand Melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Keleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Keleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Keleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed.
Yeah, but you were
But the
defeated by a
crowd
woman,
cheered for
Keleva.
Aveline. Keleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
I was hoping for a happy ending.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death.
He probably also
And
got a
to
lot of
this day,
tail for
any
that.
female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Huh.
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Flemeth? Morgan's mother was called Flemeth. I met Flemeth in the Kocaria Wilds. No, I don't live... Yeah. I've met Flemeth. Morgan's mother's Flemeth.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
She didn't really introduce herself as such.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari Wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's
Why
eyes.
did Osen
Flemeth
go?
was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari Wilds.
Doesn't Morrigan have any input on any of this? Like, she's just sitting back there silently getting drunk. Yeah, I've heard this before. Tell me about Aveline again.
A long time ago.
Oh, so she just repeats the story.
She learned to wield the sword at... All right, I will tell you the tale another time if you wish it.
There was another story I wanted.
Which one?
Do you know about the Dalish?
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium.
Uh-oh. Glitch? Who's Andraste? Is that the one with the burning bra?
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
So the humans, the religious humans, went to war with the elves?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
So Andraste is like a combination of Joan of Arc, Jesus, and maybe a little touch of the Virgin Mary in there too, except for the virgin part. How did she die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarion of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
Maybe a pinch of Moses, what with freeing the elves? I thought she enslaved the elves. Wait, she freed the elves? I thought she was against them. I'm confused. But Tevinter has a chantry, doesn't it? Why did the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
She went on a crusade against Tevinter to free slaves. And Tevinter is what? A city or a country or a kingdom or a guy? I don't... What's Shartan?
Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, but Andraste had an earth, and Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees. Yes? Well, here I am.
No, GM modified. Mods don't get pissy. Mods do their job. Their job that they do for free. It was mentioned before, full of mages, also assholes. So, Tevinter's like the mage's place. Kind of a Holy Roman Empire. Alright. Where did all the mages that first started to try to take over heaven come from? Did they come from Tevinter?
Of course I do. I love stories, but which one? It will come to you soon, I'm sure.
Mostly. Okay. Alright, so I've exhausted my possibilities with her. She told me many a tale. I like to think that she just said all of that to the dog. Oh, you would like to hear about the Maker again. She's talking to the dog again.
Please, we came here to get away from the fighting. We thought the soldiers would hold Lothering, but they've abandoned...
You're here about food. Take it up with that bleeding runt by the chantry. I got other gear to sell.
Show me what you get. You get your ed of food?
Whole mess of refugees come in and leave near every night. All have hungry bellies, sad tales, and mementos for barter. I sold that bleeding merchant outside about half my larder 2 weeks back, and now he's charging outrageous sums for all my food.
And the merchant's getting away with it?
For now, that gouger isn't careful, he'll wind up in the cage with a canary, or worse. Mark my words. People get more desperate by the day.
I'll see what I can do about that guy.
You will? Odd thing to be doing.
By which I mean,
we'd
I will
appreciate
steal
it.
everything he's got from him. Show me what you got. Oh my. Ooh, what is that? Is this, how do I know if this is a two-handed sword or not? Oh, I got shit to sell. Alright. Selling all my shit. I don't need bolt. Do I need bows, guys? Is the rogue an archer? Is she an archer? Is my new nun an archer? Oh, so I should buy back something, eh? How do I buy back? Do I need longbows? I'll buy back the most expensive one. It's probably the best one. Okay. Warden recruit shield. Yeah, nobody's gonna be using a shield here. I'll keep one good set of armor just in case. Keep Morgan's robes just in case. I like this arming cap, so I'll keep that too. Warden's Oath? What the hell is this? I can't equip this item on this character? Why can't I put that on Cinderella? Isn't she the one who received it? Only Cinder. Oh, I have the dog selected. That's why. Okay. I didn't know. I can't tell that I have the dog. Oh, I am the dog. I forgot. All right. So what else we got here to sell? I guess I'll keep all my items. Do you guys? I'll keep all that shit. Yeah, I don't know if I need to keep this or not, so I'll just keep it. I'll keep all my gifts, especially my found cake, which is worth 0 apparently. So when the dog finds me stuff, am I supposed to show that I'm disappointed if I don't think that what he found was good enough? Because I don't want to discourage the dog, but I feel like the reason they included that option was so that the dog will continue to look for better stuff. I should probably just sell the wolf pelts, right? Am I just supposed to sell everything in here? Like, is this stuff useful for anything but selling? I think I'm supposed to sell all this, right? Except for the gifts. And I'll buy gifts and give them to Liliana, yeah. I'll buy her some beer. I'll buy her a rope necklace and a shiny gold ring. Yeah, everything you got. Just sell all this. Private documents. Yeah, why do I even have this? Is it a quest item? Some stuff is used for other things. I don't have anything marked as junk, so selling all junk isn't gonna do anything, will it? Well, what's the point of getting approval with party members if not to get sex J's? Like, is there any point of approval if you don't want to F them? Because I don't care about Morrigan, especially since Cinderella can't even get Morrigan. You can be friends with them? Does friendship... Oh, they get bonuses? So is there a point where bonuses top out anyways? Like, is there diminishing returns to giving too many gifts to somebody? Some people might leave. Okay. I'll give this to her.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Here's a rope necklace.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
Do you like to get drunk?
Why, thank you so much.
You're welcome. How about a silver bracelet?
Why, thank you so much.
Oh, she doesn't like that as much. Shiny gold ring?
Why, thank you so much.
Yeah. I think
Why,
cake?
thank you so much.
I am getting diminishing returns with how much approval I get with each one I'm giving her. I gotta find her more shit. Alright, let's look at her equipment. Alright, I might stop making people naked all the time, especially that I've got I feel like when I had Alistair with us, that was okay because it was equal opportunity. If I make a full clan of girls naked, it's just gonna look like I'm a perv when I'm really just doing it for comedy. Plus, I kind of like that she looks like, you know, it gives her more personality to actually look like a priestess anyways. I'll probably dress Morgan back up too, especially since Morgan actually looks more naked with her clothes on. Seeker's Circle. What does this do for her? Oh. And to be honest, I think I need to put on clothes too, because I was getting pretty squishy in those previous battles, and I also look funny in armor, so that's the thing. she looks funny no matter what. All right, so so I'm thinking Cinderella is going to be she looks awesome in that. I'm liking these hats. These hats are great. I'm thinking that Cinderella's the tank. My doggy will go, he'll be the one I send after archers. He'll charge archers and, like, you know, mages, long range stuff. And then I'll have a mage who does long range stuff, obviously, area effects, and then Liliana will be a ranged character as well. So that way the battle won't be as confusing. I'll be the only one in the thick of things, basically. So she's an archer now. Even though I kind of like the idea of her using a sword more, I think it makes more tactical sense for her to have a bow. What's that all about? That took away the bow. To give her fire arrows took away the bow. What? What the hell's that all about? If I equip an arrow, it takes... What the hell? Oh, bolts. That's for a crossbow. I wasn't reading that it said bolt. Can the doggy be given equipment? No. Oh. Oh, cool. He's got a little collar. Alright, I should probably finish up in here. I acquired a skill? What? What skill has been acquired? It says that a skill was acquired. I love that Liliana is also a thief. She can make poison shit. Inspired by your leadership, this party has also gained a minor bonus to cunning. Liliana got a skill because... Oh, so that's her... That's the skill she just received? Because she likes me? And how does cunning help again? Determination, how well your character learns with reasons. Most skills such as herbalism or combat tactics require a quick mind to master. An observant eye can easily find weaknesses in enemy armor. Rogues benefit most from this statistic. Increases effectiveness of rogue talents, prerequisite for many skills, contribution to armor penetration, mental resilience, and persuasiveness. So she'll get more crits.
As if we needed more fighting here. Don't you see how scared everyone is?
To the bard's song. Can we speak once they finish? I'm trying to listen to the bard's song. Can we speak once they finish?
As I live and breathe, you're the Grey Warden everyone's
Well
been talking
met! Alright, I'm going to take a break here. When I come back, I'm going to talk to this guy and continue on with my adventure. Video Games Awesome Live continues with a Dragon Age Lonesome playthrough live.